Hey there, I'm Matt, co-founder at Helped.
And I'm David, co-founder at Helped.
And this is the Cool Kids Table.
This isn't your typical industry podcast. Each month, we sit down with MSPs, vendors, and channel pros to swap stories, share real insights, and have a little fun.
You'll get expert takes along with sports debates and some class clown moments. It's part grade school nostalgia and part real talk about what's going on in business.
No scripts, no sales pitches, just a real lunchroom conversation.
So grab your tray and let's hang out at the Cool Kids Table. Welcome to the Cool Kids Table podcast. I'm your host, Matt. This is David, and our special guest today is Tim Golden from Compliance Scorecard.
Hey, everybody. Welcome.
Hey, Tim. Good to have you on. I guess the first question of many that we're going to ask you today is, what's in your lunchbox?
What's in the box? Oh, well, I had some help this morning with my lunchbox. Here, let me just share about preparing my lunchbox.
That is the smallest lunch lady I've ever seen.
Yeah, where's her hairnet? I'm worried about the health and safety considerations.
That's Charlotte. That's our granddaughter. But what is inside my lunchbox? I have no idea. As you saw, Charlotte packed it for me. Oh, wait, there's a note.
There's a note.
Get back to work, Tim. No.
It says, you probably can't read it, but it says, "Hi, Pep. Honestly, I think the best thing, and these are the most delicious, especially frozen. If you have never had a funny bone, think of chocolate Twinkie, but peanut butter filled, and then covered in chocolate, but frozen. See? Yum, yum, yum. I don't know about y'all, but I could get up in the morning, go to the store. With $5, I could get my Mountain Dew and my funny bone, and sometimes a pack of smokes, and be able
She
to
packed those.
Oh, I forgot how sweet Mountain Dew was.
You could be up all night. Matt, what's in your lunchbox?
I feel like I'm a fraud. I did also have some help in packing mine, and it has notes as well. But then I put in one of the little bento things of my daughter's, and there's no food in there. But I can see what's on the notes, or one of them. I think it's just stamps on a heart. The one that actually has writing, "You do good. You are awesome." Awesome spelled OSOM.
Awesome. That's how I spell it.
Exactly.
You seen
And then
any
the
of
stamps
my
say "You rock," and there's a bunch of little heart stamps on there. So that's my lunchbox. I guess I'm going to be hungry for a little while because I just have to live off the nourishment of such a loving note. David, do you have anything in yours?
Yeah, I've got a couple things in mind. I think not as cool as the funny bones, but I've got a little bit of watermelon. It's been cut up into.
Look at you coming in all healthy.
Right, absolutely. And then to negate the healthy factor, got a Three Musketeers.
Frozen or not?
I don't know if I've ever had a frozen Three Musketeers.
You have not had a frozen Three Musketeers? All right, we're done here. I'm out.
I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Yeah, Tim and I are going to small talk. You go run off to the freezer. You have priorities here.
Tim, do you have any idea what we're going to do today other than show off our lunches?
No, I really don't. I don't know. I finally got a seat at the Cool Kids table. So, I'm very excited. They think I'm cool. I wasn't picked last. Or maybe I was.
No, you weren't. You're actually our first guest, and we very much appreciate you coming. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to do the Cool Kids Table Jeopardy.
I'll take moronic phrases for 800, Jack.
We can dive right into
I'm going to go big or go home. I'm going to take Jock for 500, please.
For 500.
who's the most underrated athlete of all time, in your opinion?
I don't know. That's a hard one. Maybe Sugar Ray Leonard.
Sugar Ray Leonard, I feel like, is known as one of the greats. Does that mean he's just far and away best ever? Like pound
No,
for
but if
pound,
we look
he's
at
the guy?
Tyson and all the others that have come after him in boxing,
Yeah.
I would probably say, I don't know. It's a really hard one for me to guess because
That's a
I
good
wasn't a jock.
Yeah, we're starting to see that now, Tim.
Overachiever for 400.
What's the most common compliance gap you see among MSPs, and why is it so hard to close?
Documentation, because they don't like to write.
What can you do about that? Like, is there some solution, or you just have to brute force it and convince them that they need it, or they can't be compliant?
Well, it's one thing for an MSP to grab a template off the interwebs. It's another thing to modify that to the actual business processes in place specific for that customer. They're really good at the blinky lights and the ones and zeros and the bytes and bits.
Bingle bongle dingle dangle.
But when it comes to business process and when it comes to understanding their client and the specific environment of their client, that involves asking questions and talking to their customer to better tailor the documentation for that customer.
Are you trying to tell me that compliance isn't just a checkbox?
Well, yeah, I mean, no. Templates are a great starting point, but they're not the checkbox. But the reality is they're the ones to best facilitate the documentation work because they know their environment the best. If we can get past the, oh my God, I have to talk to my customer fear or doubt, and maybe they are really great at talking to their customer. Maybe they have an amazing TAM that sits in front of the customer. The next component is getting it wrong. And that's okay because, whether you bring in some professional services to help or the community at large, there's a lot of people here that can help you stay away from or kind of lessen the getting it wrong. And the biggest third piece is customers won't pay for it. And the reality is that fines and losing contracts and putting that revenue at risk far outweighs the work it takes to do and then the level of effort and cost to actually roll out a good documentation program.
So they won't pay for it, but they'll make their decisions based on who can deliver it, essentially.
Yeah.
What's next?
Class Clown 200.
If someone followed you around for a week with a documentary crew, what moments would end up in the promotional trailer?
Probably my rambling at 5 a.m, building my LinkedIn posts and having great opportunities to meet with people like you and David and the rest of the team here helped. And then ending my night binge watching something on Netflix, Hulu, whatever.
All right, let's keep going. What's next?
All right, Jock for 300.
If you could instantly master any sport, which one would it be?
I guess a tight end.
Tim, going off to college, can it be the star tight end at Notre Dame?
Probably Michigan, because it'd be a great segue into the Patriots.
Oh, yeah, terrible choice.
Let's see, Jock 100.
Who was your favorite athlete growing up and why?
I would probably say Steve Grogan, quarterback for the 80s New England Patriots.
How long was Steve playing, and could you have been the tight end that caught a touchdown pass from it?
Oh, I could have been the tight end.
I could have been a contender.
And I was playing high school football then, kind of off and on. But yeah, I probably could have been. That was the dream when I was 15, 16 years old.
Where are we going to next?
Overachiever 100.
What have you learned from serving small to medium-sized MSPs specifically?
That they need a lot of help. So, we can get into they struggle with the ability to roll out a sales process. As an industry, they really do want to help the small businesses that they support, but it's a thankless job. Nobody ever comes to the MSP and says, oh my God, thank you, I got my email today. No, what you hear is, what's with the spam and the phishing and the job? All they ever do is get hand grenades thrown at them. Something that we could encourage and teach the MSPs. Be kind to each other. Give kudos more often to each other, especially amongst yourselves and your team. Being able to support each other and say, great job. Thank you for letting me get my email. That's probably the biggest lesson I've learned by serving them is encouraging them and giving them an attaboy when they need it. Let's go for 200.
What's your most unforgettable live sports moment, either as a fan or participant?
Watching Julian Edelman catch that play. I actually have a signed picture, like a 18 by 20 signed picture of him with the fingers under the ball, just about touching the ground. So that was one. Watching Big Pappy on the Red Sox, I was fortunate enough to go to one or two of the Red Sox games here in New England and watching him play and hit, whether it was 200 or 500th home run or whatever it was on one of his big home run numbers. Let's go 200 for Overachiever.
What experiences in the Army have aided your role as CEO
oh my God,
of Compliance Scorecard?
I've been thinking more and more about this. The single most important thing, I think, which is why I love this community, is the camaraderie. The similar camaraderie that I had in the military, I experience in the MSP community.
Where you're in the bunker together trying to solve the same sorts of problems.
But when you're standing on the hooch, throwing the empties over the side. Mountain Dew. Jock for 400.
What's your go-to game day snack or tradition?
Popcorn.
Popcorn. Do you just do straight butter? Are you doing the caramel corn? Do you do one of those little Popcornopolis tins where they give you the 3 flavors?
I actually have an industrial popcorn maker, like the movie theater kind. It's smaller scale, but like you would see at the movie theaters. Popcorn's my jam.
If we walk into your house, do we just always get that scent of popcorn?
I did have to put it in the basement. Our basement's finished, so it's not like Dirty Dungeon basement. So it is in the basement, so it doesn't smell up the whole house.
You mean it's in the screening room? Because
yeah, there you go.
You screen the movies, of course. It's in the theater, naturally.
Exactly. It's in the Tim cave.
All right, movie night at Tim's house. Let's do one more question here. This is the big final question.
Dealer's choice. You pick.
Class Clown 500. You have to give your job to a movie or TV show character. Who are you giving it to?
Adam Sandler.
Which character?
Happy Gilmore would be like class clown, kind of funny, kind of, yeah.
What was the one where he discovers that he has a kid, like he adopts the kid or something, where he sort of grudgingly had to do all the right things? I feel like that kind of ties in with...
Oh, with the little boy and he had to pee in the corner and
Scuba Steve, damn you!
Hip hop? Hip hop Anonymous?
That's going to be the end of Jeopardy, but we're going to have the mystery lunchbox question. The curveball: which tech trend is completely overrated and why?
AI is bullshit. Ooh, wait, is this a kid show? We're all on this AI kick. And, you know, it does have a really lot of good use cases, but it also has many bad use cases. But the overhyped or overrated components of, we'll automate your stuff with AI in 3 seconds or less.
People think it's a miracle cure. So do you think we're at a place where AI is nearing a short-term peak and it'll kind of fade and then come back in a couple years once the solutions, the use cases are really fleshed out? Or is this just going to be a constant build as people use AI more and more?
Yeah, I think it does have its unique place. I think that it will continue to grow. For those of us that are SaaS platforms, appropriately using these models and this technology within our stuff and using that as a method first. It's much like the touch screen, right? Now we all have phones, they're all touch screens, all the things. But if you look back, I mean, what was it? Windows 95, I think, had a touch screen. Windows 98 had a touch screen, right? The technology existed way back in the early 90s for touchscreens. And it wasn't until somebody was able to figure out how to adapt that into a smaller form that it really took off. So once we find more practical use cases for generative AI, large language, those kinds of things, I think it's going to really change the way businesses are run. Never will you be able to replace the human, because human decisions need to happen. But I think it's a really good opportunity for MSPs and their customers as a revenue driving component of their MSP, as a risk reduction component for small businesses. I think it does have its play.
I was kind of hoping you were going to tell me that I don't need to worry about creating documentation, because you were just going to give me an agent that would scrape all of our tickets, all of our communications, all of our reporting server, and just create those documents for us.
Wait, were you in the vendor Slack earlier? Oh, sorry. AI can create policy documents, but it needs to know about your specific environment and how the things work in your environment and what the scope is of that environment.
You talked about how the templates are just the starting point. The AI can give you the templates. It can make it so you don't have to write all the fluff, but you still need the human to fill in the blank, because the human can make the decisions that the AI, it's just pattern matching. It's just guessing.
I was talking to somebody recently and they said AI is going to make the bad experience come faster.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. That makes perfect sense. If all of the other steps, if all of the other structure isn't in place, all AI is going to do is, expedite that sloppiness and end up being in a bad place for that customer. I'm excited to see what AI can do in empowering us down the road, but I feel like it's too early. I agree with Tim. Not a lot of adoption, not a lot of structure yet, but once we get there, it's going to be super powerful.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Tim, you've now officially earned your seat at the Cool Kids table. Where can people come and find you?
Obviously, you can find me at compliancescorecard.com. You can find all of our stuff there, but I'm usually on LinkedIn and Reddit and Facebook. I am relaunching timgolden.com, working on my own kind of stuff under timgolden.com.
Are we going to be able to get little Tim Golden dolls from timgolden.com?
No, but you might be able to get some Checkers plushies.
Checkers. All right.
Appreciate the time, Tim. Thanks for coming on this first episode of the Cool Kids Table podcast.
Awesome. Well, I'm really excited to be here. This was a lot of fun.